I know it's around here somewhere. That's not it. No. Oh, yep. Okay, here we go. Found it.
You are listening to the Bud Buddy Las Vegas podcast.
It's our world, no one to tell me a thing. I'm Prime Minister, President, King, dictating what laws I please. Blowing up botanicals the color green. That's me, Burgundy Grand Prix, R-I-C-H, and don't forget the P. If you don't know, I roll with a G. Ever since high school, Green Valley. Grew up to be ruthless like Eazy-E. That's the Sin City in him, see? I got a bad history of running streets.
Thank you, everybody, for downloading and listening to the Bud Buddy Las Vegas podcast. My name is Tarl. It's like Carl with a T, T-A-R-L. I am the host, and I am the owner of Bud Buddy Las Vegas. I've probably met a bunch of you before at events around town, and I may have not met you, so welcome, and welcome to the show. What you can expect to hear on the podcast is people that work in the Las Vegas cannabis community and other people from the community in general, people that are trying to destigmatize cannabis. I have entertainers. I have people like the group you hear in the background. They're a local Las Vegas group called Shooterz with a Z. Want to give a shout out to them for letting us use this track, and we will talk more about them towards the end of the show. Our first guest is Jose from Nevada Uplifted magazine. We talk about his first issue of his Cannabis Enthusiast magazine, where he talks about the culture of cannabis. He shares recipes. He's got a dispensary guide, strain reviews. We will let Jose tell you all about that. Our second guest is Maddie Janz from Apothecarium Las Vegas and State Flower Cultivation. He's going to talk about working in the industry and some cool stuff that the Apothecarium has coming up as far as some educational stuff. And our last guest is a friend of mine. He goes by the name of Trez Mala. He's a local Las Vegas comedian and local conspiracy theorist and all-around good guy. He will be coming on to talk about a new form of social media that you can actually earn cryptocurrency on your posts instead of actually companies advertising and making money off you. You can actually make money. I'll let him explain it. I don't know a whole lot about it. I'm going to also follow up after that with some new cannabis-related cryptocurrency that I think a lot of people will be interested in. So let's get right to the show.
I'm here with Jose from Nevada Uplifted magazine, a cannabis consumer magazine. Jose, how the hell are you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing pretty good, man. Started my morning off, getting ready to go out here and network some more on this magazine. You know how it is.
Yes, sir. Where are you headed today? What's your plan?
Oh, man, we're going to drive around town. We're going to go to the Glass Expo for sure, but we're going to drive around town and hand off some magazines personally and then go out to other stores and try to get them in there. We're around town right now. We're about 4 or 5 different stores right now, and I, want to get into as many as I can. That way people can just walk in and pick it up on their own,
Sure, smoke shops, dispensaries,
yeah.
I suppose
yeah.
anything, it doesn't even really have to be cannabis related.
It really doesn't.
Some, Chiba Hut, make sure you hit up the Chiba Hut, they're up on the west
definitely
side of town.
Definitely going to hit up Chiba Hut, yeah, definitely going to hit up Chiba Hut. But yeah, it doesn't have to be cannabis related. The magazine is educational, so
Absolutely.
Even if you don't smoke, you can always pick it up and just, learn on something that you might not know about, so.
Well, okay, so that gets me to the magazine. Tell me about, everybody listening, what made you decide to do the magazine, and what's your goals? Tell what is the magazine? What is Nevada Uplifted?
Oh, well, Nevada Uplifted is pretty much how you like what you said. It's a cannabis consumer magazine for the enthusiast out there, or the not so enthusiast that maybe is just beginning and wants to learn how and what it is about. I mean, I've been smoking for 23 years plus now, and I just learned how to dab. I know it's relatively new, but there's a lot of people out there that don't know how to do that. So the magazine itself kind of breaks it down for you like it's your first time smoking. I treat the magazine like it's a, just a young kid out here in the streets and learning on its own, So
sure,
that's pretty much what the magazine is.
It's got a little bit of both, so I'm actually looking at, there's a big 2-page article in the middle of the magazine, dabbing. What is it and how to do it? So that's great.
Exactly.
And
that was written by my friend at Dab Tips, man. Real good guy. He's on Instagram. He's always giving dab tips and everything. He knows what he's doing. So that article is very detailed and breaks it down in layman's terms so that people can understand it fairly easy and learn how to do it. Our next issue is going to break down more into dabbing, so like what to look for in a good dab, and things like that. So it's like you said, it's a very interesting article.
Yeah, no, it's great, and it's good that you got both of that, because there's a lot of veterans out there, but there's also a lot of people that are getting into or maybe been smoking for a while, but maybe new to concentrates, or new to edibles, or
exactly. Yeah, it's relatively new to the community, and that's what we're trying to bring out, is just more knowledge. People don't necessarily know how to eat edibles correctly. They're over medicating and going to the hospital and everything. So we kind of want to just give everybody a little fair warning, I guess. I mean, we're not doctors or nothing, but we can give you guys some kind of advice on how to do it. Don't do it so much, and let it sink in and things like that.
Well, yeah, you're telling your readers from personal experience, from people that are that are users, trying to point people in the right direction, and and just educate. I think there is a lack of education in the cannabis community in general, in Las Vegas too. I think that's what's really cool about your magazine. And even speaking of edibles, you got a nice canna butter recipe in here I'm looking at too. Have you personally tried this recipe?
Oh yeah, man, that's a recipe I've been using for a while, man. I actually made brownies. If you go on my Instagram at Uplifted, you'll be able to see. I think I posted brownies on there. We made canana bread, which is banana bread, but I call it canana bread because I thought it was a little cooler.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've even made if you see the article in there about terpenes and flavors, my friend, she makes cannabis infused dry fruit and everything. From her Instagram is at Melanated Mayhem, but you can check her out. She does everything from medicated turkey legs to chicken wings to all kinds of medicated meals, man. She's pretty awesome. So I'm glad she's on board with the magazine too.
It's really cool to get other views, other perspectives, from people in the cannabis industry in this magazine. And man, it can only see it just getting bigger and stronger, moving forward.
Yeah, we've already been growing so much since our first issue came out. A lot of people have showed a lot of interest in it, a lot of support. People have been texting me, emailing me, messaging me through Instagram saying, hey, we'd love to help in any way we can. We do this, we do this. So our next magazine's already growing. It's going to have more articles in it. I want to have an article in there. Our next issue is going to have an article in there on, in case you have to medicate your pet, how to do that. Because, there's a lot of pets out here that are getting medicated, and we want to help that. We want to help any way we can in the cannabis community. Cannabis is definitely, I don't want to say an alternative. It should be the way to go with all these other, prescription pills and things that are going, opiates and everything that's going around right now. Cannabis can definitely be a strong substitute. We all know that.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate that it's not readily available. With cannabis being recreational in Nevada now, that is it is a little bit more readily available, but also the prices are too high, and I've also noticed that some of the stuff that is out there isn't really medication. I mean, it really shouldn't be treated. There's other alternatives, and I think some of these places are missing the boat on on real true medication.
I definitely agree on that. There's only so much we can do with the legal aspect of stuff, though.
Well, and it's a battle every day, and there's people out there. I mean, you and I, there's a lot of us out there that are, pushing forward with a positive message for cannabis. And in any of the treatments, PTSD, like you said, for pets, I mean, there's just so much use for cannabis that, we just as a whole and in our country, we aren't really, able to use properly because of, federal regulations, which is bullshit.
And speaking on that subject, man, remember February 14th, Alexis Bortel, man, she's going up against Jeff Sessions. Show your support. I definitely will be doing that.
Absolutely.
I stand with her. So she's 12 years old, and she's battling the battle that we all want to fight. So more power to her.
Yep, no, that's a great message, and great, thank you for bringing that up. Let me know what's the website that people can find the magazine, and what is your social media handles that people can, either contact you if they want to be a part of the magazine, if they want to give some input, let people know where they can find you.
So the website is the same as the Instagram, nvuplifted.com, or at nvuplifted on Instagram. That's usually where you can see me doing my videos and posting all my stuff on the website. You can go in there and get all your news, all your updates. We're revamping it right now. So right now you can still go on there and look at strains, check out our digital magazine, find dispensaries. Like I said, it is getting revamped. So soon you'll be able to go in there and find all your strains, find all the strains, find all the dispensaries. You'll be able to click on the state that you'll be in. So it just won't be Nevada Uplifted. You'll be able to click on, say you're in Colorado or you're in this state, you'll be able to click on that state and find a dispensary. If you're coming in from out of town, you'll be able to do the same thing. You'll be able to just go right on the Nevada Uplifted and find a dispensary, place an order. It'll be ready by the time you get there. Just trying to make this as best as we can.
Sure,
really
man.
what we're doing. We're trying to come out with I'm saving some money right now so I can come out with an application on your cell phone as well. If the big dog's got it, I want to have it because I want to be a big dog. So
that's what you got to do, man. That's just part of the game and part of the business. You're on the right track, man. It's we've known each other for about a year now, I think, and
yeah,
it's really cool to see what you've done and growth. And
because you were there when I just was talking. Yeah, man, I'm coming out with a magazine and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and now you're seeing me do it, and I'm actually pretty proud of myself for doing all of that, man. I thank you for your support, man. I thank the cannabis community out here for their support, because they motivate me to do what I got to do every day, So
right.
Thank y'all.
No, exactly, and and I can see it too. At some of these events that we've done lately and stuff. People really appreciate the magazine and appreciate you, appreciate your enthusiasm. And it's really it's good, and it's pun intended, it's uplifting to see somebody like you out there, doing good things for the community, being a part of the community, embrace everybody. Just trying to bring people together, educate people, and move the message of cannabis forward in a positive direction. So
exactly, and it's not just cannabis, man. It's like you said, it's uplifting. So it's I treat everybody the same, because I really don't see races. I don't see none of that, man. You're on the same boat as I am if you're standing right next to me, the way
right.
I see it. You know what I'm saying? If I could reach out and hug you, we are on the same boat.
Yep.
And that's what it's about. I don't think anybody's better. I don't think anybody's worse. I think you really got to just do what you got to do. And if you can help somebody else in the process while doing that, that person will then help out somebody else, and that person will then help out somebody else. And that's how you make the world a better place, man. It's not being black, it's not being white, it's not being any of that. It's mankind. You know what I mean? It's one world. That's what it always has been. That's what it always will be. If something happens to America, what do you think? Our Americans are just going to just vanish? No, we're going to move on to another country. We're going to move, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's a world. You guys are going to have to deal with whatever. It is what it is, man. Just enjoy your bowl and don't let nobody steal your smile. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. Don't let shit, get you down. Don't let, there's a lot of people out there that, they got their own agendas and keep positive message. And no, it's great, dude.
Yeah.
I think, man, I appreciate your time on the phone. I'm going to see you soon again. I know I'll get you back on here to do this again. We're doing this
anytime, man.
We're doing this weekly, so I'm gonna, I want to get you on probably at least once a month to, give us updates on the magazine, on the website, with you, just in general, and everything, man.
Yeah, it'd be my pleasure, man. I support anything you got going on, and thank you for your support. And let's keep it pushing, man. Like I said, let's just keep this movement positive.
Right on, man. Right on. So, yeah, man. Give it one more time. Give us a shout out on the website, and where people can find you on social media.
NV Uplifted, man. www.nvuplifted.com, or on Instagram at NV Uplifted, man. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let's chop it up. If we get together, let's burn one. That's how it is.
Right, man. All right, good. All right, man. Thank you for your time, and that's it.
All right, buddy, man. You be safe.
Thanks again to Jose from Nevada Uplifted Magazine for coming on the podcast. We will be right back after a short message with Matt Janz from the Apothecarium, Las Vegas. Sweet Leaf Plant Nutrients are a blend of all-natural and organic plant nutrients designed for indoor hydroponic, soil, or greenhouse home gardening. Visit sweetleaf.com. That is SUITELEAF sweetleaf.com and check out their complete line of organic plant nutrients. We have partnered with the great folks over at sweetleaf.com to offer the Bud Buddy podcast listeners 15% off their purchase at sweetleaf.com by using the code BudBuddy at checkout. Again, that's sweetleaf.com. Use code BudBuddy at checkout and save yourself 15% off your purchase. Sweetleaf.com. All right, guys, thank you for listening to the Bud Buddy Las Vegas podcast. We're listening to two Shooterz again, bringing us back in from the break. Find them at 2Shooterz702. Shooterz has a Z. You can find them on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all the social media platforms. Again, at 2Shooterz702. Next up on the podcast, we have Matt Janz from the Apothecarium Las Vegas and State Flower Cultivation here in Las Vegas. He's here to tell you all about the Apothecarium, some cool educational classes they have coming up, and just a little bit more about him. So enjoy the interview. My goal when I started this podcast was to try to talk to people in the cannabis industry similar to the person, or like the person that I'm going to introduce everybody to today, by the name of Matt Janz. Matt, how the hell are you?
I'm doing awesome. Can't complain. Every day that I work in this industry is a blessing.
Thank you for having me down to your office today. I know we're both really busy, but you squeezed in some time for me. I appreciate it. We'll get right to business. Tell me who Matt is. I know you work at the Apothecarium. I know that. Not everybody knows that. Tell everybody about the Apothecarium in Las Vegas.
So I am the marketing manager for the Apothecarium. So I help manage our communication efforts, whether it's print, billboard, social media, digital, and ensure that our message and our philosophy is getting out there and that we're speaking to our patients and guests and letting them know, hey, this is what makes us special, and we want to invite everybody in. But we really focus on being medically positioned in the sense of having very knowledgeable patient consultants so that when our guests come in, regardless of whether they're recreational or medical, they get a full consultation. So it's actually a one-on-one conversation addressing your needs, discussing them, and finding the correct medicine or product, whatever you want to call it or view it as, for your needs. So we take special care to service, and we take special care to making sure that everybody leaves educated, that everybody leaves with the relief that they need for whatever they're, even if it's just, you know what, I want to come and I want to get super stoned. Sure. We'll get you super stoned. Right. But we want to make sure that everybody leaves with the knowledge to arm them to successfully medicate, and then also the correct product so that they have a great experience, and then they tell their friends, you know, I had this awesome consultation, and, you know, they were able to find me something for my fibromyalgia that really, really helps, and it actually works. You know, this cannabis thing isn't just all hype. It actually is true medicine. And, you know, I think that that's those kind of conversations spark off of really great and knowledgeable experiences.
Right, and actually that is probably one of my experiences when I've been to the Apothecarium. It's not like other dispensaries where, I don't want to say you're treated like cattle, because I don't want to say that, but it's very one-on-one. It's very patient-specific, customer-specific, you know, now that we're recreational, and it's, you know, one-on-one consultation, and it actually feels very personal. Everybody there that I've talked to is very knowledgeable, and, you know, I always feel comfortable doing that, and other people should too. Speaking of knowledge, you were talking about, before we started, that you're going to have some classes coming up at the Apothecarium. Education classes, and what kind of classes do you have going on?
So we're actually, part of what we like to offer are different events, including educational events for our guests. We like to provide value to them and really give them what they need to learn, and then also to engage as a community. So next month is actually packed. We have 2 classes which will be led by Vert. So they're really, really knowledgeable experts in their field. They're going to come do an Edibles 101 on the 13th. And then later in the month, they're going to be out doing a Concentrates 101 on the 29th. But we're adding in a couple of interesting approaches. And one of those is the patient education series from Hope Cannabis. So Hope Cannabis is a group that is doctor-led. There's 3 physicians that work there and head their operation, and they have a very medically focused approach where they're creating and custom tailoring terpene blends for different ailments and really trying to focus on the science and the research that's available behind it. So what we're doing is we're actually going to be doing a series with these doctors where they're going to be touching on patient-focused topics that are very important, you know, from cancer and cannabis to sleep and insomnia and cancer to, or not cancer, although that does unfortunately go hand in hand. You know, mood disorders, anxiety, depression in cannabis, and then, you know, interesting things like the biochemistry of cannabis. What happens when we smoke, both internally and physically on the outside? Why do we feel the way that we do? What is going on with our neurons, our neurotransmitters, and what's creating this actual effect? So we're really excited to roll it out. It's something that we feel is a great value and opportunity for our patients and guests to hear directly from a physician on their perspective of cannabis. And then also there's going to be time allotted on each of these classes for questions. So people can come with their curiosities fully ready to explode and have them answered and addressed and done so in a comfortable environment. But we have the very first one is actually coming up next Friday on March 9th. That's going to be an introduction to the doctors where you're getting to meet the different physicians at Hope and then kind of ask some preliminary questions which will help them kind of form and shape the classes to come based upon your feedback there. Then also we have the other Hope class this month is going to be on March 30th. At the end of the month, which is a Friday, and that's going to be on cancer and cannabis. So that one will probably be a pretty intense conversation. You know, I personally, unfortunately, last year lost 2 family members due to cancer, and one of those family members actually was on RSO. So it's something that's near and dear to me, and I know that it's something that's near and dear to a lot of people in this community. Right. So it's great that we're able to provide this. And then we're doing some fun stuff too. We have a class actually on the history of cannabis with Joel from Silver State Trading. So it's going to be this kind of open forum discussion. So whereas we typically have seminars that are very, you know, presenter focused, this is going to be a straight up open discussion where he's going to come with his knowledge about, you know, the agricultural changes and the hemp revolution, you know, in historical times, and he's going to kind of start the conversation, but it's going to be this whole open organization or conversation where people can engage. Then we also have yoga. We have beginners yoga, which will be fun. So we're going to have space each Friday at the studio next door to us, Body Dance and Fitness. So it'll be a nice open space, but we're trying to do stuff to help build a community. You know, for us, it's not just patients and guests. We try to make everybody like family. We really do want to get to know you. We want to see how your dog's doing after its surgery, or, you know, see how your big test went. You know, we really are wanting to build a community here, and I think this is a way to kind of tie people together.
Well, I think you can actually see that too with a lot of the social media stuff that you obviously manage and you know and maintain. You can see that with you know, I think I just saw on your guys' Instagram that you went on a hike, you know, as a company hike. You know, that's great for morale building. You know, and it's great weather. Obviously, you know, can't do that in July. Well, I guess you could. You don't want to.
You got to go at like 6 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I don't think anybody's waking up that early on a Saturday.
Probably not, unless they have to. But no, that's really great, though. And how can people find out? I mean, can you RSVP for those events? What's the best way for people to maybe learn more and actually, like, RSVP, sign up? How can they do that?
So there's multiple ways. The easiest way pretty much is to go to our website, apothecarium.com, APOTHECARIUM. I know it's a bit of a tricky name.
Once you do it, once you spell it like 10 or 15 times, you'll get it
exactly.
Every time, trust me.
It may take a couple dozen, but you'll get it down.
Yep.
But apothecarium.com, go to our Las Vegas location and go to events. And basically the easiest way and the way that you RSVP is just send me actually personally an email to matt@apothecariumlv.com. And I'll go ahead and get you a RSVP confirmation. But if you're more of a social media kind of person, all of our events, including the ones with RSVP, are on the Facebook events page. So you can scroll through those, read about them, and learn kind of what to expect and what's going to be offered at the classes.
And you can always RSVP, I'm sure, through Facebook as well.
Yeah.
So those events, okay, great. And those start March 9th, then the second one is March 30th.
Yep, exactly. So definitely something to put on the calendar. I think that just based upon, I handle all the RSVPs, so I see kind of what is coming in. And based upon the tremendous interest in this first one, I definitely think this is something that's going to be exciting and people should be getting excited for.
Sure, and they might want to get in early, too, just in case it does. Because, it might sell out. I know you're not selling tickets, but it might fill up, I guess I should say.
And that's something that I should definitely mention is none of our classes, none of our events, nothing that we're offering costs money. We're not asking for ticket money. We're not even asking you to have a purchase. You don't have to purchase. You don't have to pay anything. We're doing this legitimately to educate and then also as fun added bonuses to build community.
Oh, that's great, and I think the Las Vegas community needs that. The cannabis community needs that more. It's funny when you were going back to talking about how these doctors are going to come in and talk about, actual real life, uses for cannabis. Could you imagine 25 years ago when the DARE program was out? Could you imagine those two butting heads? It would just be It's so crazy for me to even think about, because we grew up with the same era, with the Say No to Drugs and the, DARE program, and just now how it's, is not even really a thing anymore, which is so insane.
And I think that shows part of this. What's awesome about this is that it shows tremendous progress with our society as a whole. That not only are we having this massive legalization effort and people's minds are changing and the stigma's getting kicked out the door, and we're showing people just how successful and normal this is. And it just goes to show you that there's doctors now leading that this is almost a paradigm shift. And we're talking about just a complete change of perspective where, me and you, there's no way we ever would have brought up cannabis with our doctors back in the day. There's no way I would not have been comfortable talking about it. And now these guys are leading classes and groups and are very passionate, and these people want to help people, and they see this tremendous benefit, and it's kind of nice to see this kind of massive realization on a general level of people going, wow, this really is medicinal. Wow, it really does have this insane wide range of benefits. And oh wow, you can use it without getting high. You can use CBD. It's non-psychoactive. There's non-addictive, and there's so many misinformations that are getting killed, and that's what I love. It's all this stuff is surfacing, and I think that it's going to make for an undeniable movement that at some point the government, when 45 states are legal, or is going to have to address as being legitimate. And
Utah will be the last one, probably.
Exactly, it'll be 49 in Utah. But I think that it definitely shows a really positive change in perspective and the overall public's kind of view on cannabis.
So it's been out probably about a month now, I think. It's hit social media. I just put it up actually on the budbuddypodcast.com. I shared a promo video that I'm sure you probably actually worked very hard on for the Young Fashioned OG. Did I get that right? Or
yes.
YFOG?
YFOG, Young Fashioned OG? No. We partnered up with Virtue. They have been, it's almost like a family, or it is actually a family business. These people, actually, the owners of Virtue, came in to the Apothecarium as patients. And they were telling us the whole time they're coming in, oh, we got this grow going, you just watch out. And, when you're in this industry, you hear that a lot, I've got this going on, just watch out, And so we kept our ears open. And when they came to us with their product, it was like a jaw-dropping moment.
I'm familiar with their products, and when I first seen it, I was pretty impressed.
The aroma was pungent. It was just that straight-up kick to the nose. You're smelling just these really developed and dense terpene profiles that are super medicinal in their own right. But the aroma was there, and then I took out the nugs, and they were coated in trichomes, and they were trimmed properly. They were manicured correctly. So, immediately we're huge fans of these people, but we built this great relationship with them since the start, and we were fortunate and blessed enough to connect with them and come out with a fun strain to kind of celebrate our partnership together. And, they also are very patient forward, and we also have that same philosophy. So we believe that we should be providing great medicine to people, and why not provide a solid OG strain, a little bit on that indica leaning side, that, kind of is that middle ground where, since it is an indica leaning hybrid, it's great for people that are looking for functionality throughout the afternoon and evening. And then also people are looking to straight up relax, people are looking for tension relief, muscle relaxation. So there's a nice wide range of benefits there. Get stoned. Exactly. But to be 100% honest with you, because I'm a concentrate head, I'm not nearly as excited for the flower as I am the rosin.
Well, I've seen the rosin. I haven't tried it yet, but I've seen it. It's yeah. Tell us about that.
I've got to get you some. It's crazy. The terpene profile is very well balanced, but the taste, like the actual taste, is phenomenal. And I'll be flat out honest with you. Even being a concentrate head, like I was always super distant from rosin. I was always every time I got it, didn't taste very good, didn't get me very high. There wasn't much to be desired from it, and I had never really had a great experience with it.
And the price usually never justifies the.
Yeah, we even what's interesting is at a point the Apothecarium had brought on some different kind of rosin. And the price point, we basically get what we get, and that was sticky. And then the other issue was it just wasn't that good. But we had brought it on because we wanted to have rosin on the menu, and there's very limited pool of rosin, and then what was out there wasn't the best quality that we think could be. But these guys, Virtue, have just done a killer job. The guy that's extracting it is really in tune with the correct temperatures, the correct pressure, the correct time. And he's creating this rosin that's pliable, it's manageable, it's very terpy and tasty. You're actually going to get Flavor Town from it. You're going to go to Flavor Town with Guy Fieri. You're going to grow a sick spiky haircut.
Damn Fieri.
Damn Fieri, exactly.
Yeah.
So they did a great job, but the rosin that they did for us, the YFOG, is unparalleled. In my opinion, it's definitely something that people should check out. And super shout out to their entire cultivation team. Those guys work their. I don't know if you're going to allow cursing in this.
Yes,
okay. They work their fucking asses off. They do a really phenomenal job. Everybody that's on the team when we went down there and toured, they were very friendly, engaging, and they were all about growing quality, terpene-rich cannabis. And I have to give shout out to the guy that's doing the rosin pressing over there. He's doing a phenomenal. Everybody in that organization is doing great. But I definitely recommend, if you're a concentrate head, for sure try out the YFOG. That's not just my shameless plug, but it's real. I mean, definitely check it out. It's one of my favorites.
Where can people find? I mean, they find it at the Apothecarium. I'm sure.
Okay. And I believe it's at Jenny's dispensary. Let me pull up the full list because I'm gonna feel really bad if I miss people.
Sure.
I believe it's Jenny's dispensary.
Because like a guy for me, actually, I live on the east side of town, and unfortunately for me, I drive past about 15 dispensaries on my way to the Apothecarium. But I've made that special trip more than once just to come see you guys because it's definitely worth it.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, and that's the kind of thing that we really take to heart, is the fact that people do go out of their way to come see us, and that means the world to us because you guys don't have to. There's 10,000 options, and for you guys to actually come out of your way and do it really means a lot. So it looks like right now it's at the Apothecarium, Jenny's Dispensary, The Grove, and Showgrow, and MMJ America.
Okay, perfect.
So definitely, I'd always check.
Flower and rosin?
I believe flower and rosin. Always check on their weed maps pages because menus.
Call ahead. I'd always call
changes.
ahead. I always think call it ahead because even sometimes those other menus, they aren't that accurate either.
True, very true. Definitely call ahead. That's a smart way to go. Because things happen, and
Sure.
one thing that that would be great to put out there, it's a lot of people definitely probably get frustrated about like weed maps and leafly menus. But one thing just for people that are outside of the industry to kind of know and learn about is that it becomes really difficult because you're managing your point of sale menu, and then a leaflet menu, and then a weed maps menu, and then if you have a leaf buyer menu, and then so there's all these different menus, so it becomes very difficult in terms of manpower, and then also logistically to manage multiple menus. So if your favorite dispensary sometimes is a little bit slow at updating the menu, it's because they have a lot on their plate, and then they also have these kind of different distribution channels which have to be aligned, and sometimes things can get miscommunicated between them.
Well, and to be honest with you, that is one of the reasons why I don't have menus on Bud Buddy, because it's impossible for me to get somebody like you to work with me. Not that it's just because you're busy. I mean, it's not personal. I mean, trust me, I know you would do it for me if you could, but it's a hard thing to do, and it's just, and those menus are always changing, and there should be a better way to integrate it. There just isn't right now. But, the future is now, so I'm sure we'll figure it out eventually. But
exactly.
All right, Matt, I really appreciate you doing this, taking out the time to do this on a busy Friday. I know I'm headed down to First Friday. I know you guys usually do a First Friday. Maybe it's good that you're not this weekend because it's blowing out there pretty bad and the tent might blow away, but...
Yeah, if we don't have any really great weights for it, so it might be a good idea. Exactly. I can just hold it down and we're good to go.
Yeah, that thing ain't going anywhere. But, Matt, before we go, let everybody know what's up with Christmas. Why do you get so fired up about Christmas?
So, for me, there's a number of reasons that I love Christmas so much, and I'm happy you asked this because it is my favorite thing in the world. I have a Christmas tree tattooed on my arm. It stems from having the best times with my family, literally flying across from the country to all meet, and we put aside political differences, we put aside petty arguments, we put aside everything to have just a celebration of each other and showing our love and just coming together. And it started there, but really what it is this is probably the story for most people, but life hasn't been it's been rough, and everybody goes through tough times, and not everything's going to be peaches and cream, and it's just not the way the world works. But typically for me, people treat each other so much better during Christmas time.
The holiday season.
It's the entire thing. They're a little bit more patient. They're a little bit more kind. They might say thank you more than they realize. Right. And, to me, that feeling, that all-encompassing feeling of people coming together and people being a little bit nicer and people maybe stopping for a second of their crazy life to realize the blessings that they have is really why I love Christmas so much. And during Christmas, I have a Christmas charity that I own called the Coalition for Christmas Cheer. And basically, we're a group of musicians. We go to the children's charities out here, play music, we give them gifts, and we make sure that they have a great time. But part of what I love the holiday season so much is because it gives me a chance to give back and to ground myself and to say, when I'm getting frustrated because I got all these deadlines and stuff, and there's all these crazy stuff going on in my personal life, I could stop for a second and say, wow, you have legs. And as crazy as that sounds, right. I mean, we work with an organization called Variety, and Variety is both physical disabilities, mental disabilities, and then early childhood development issues with autism or just developmental issues as far as learning goes. And that's one of the most humbling things I think anybody can do, is to go realize that you've had such a blessing living life normally. And that's probably the wrong word to use, but living life of means and having a comfortable way of life, and these kids that we go help. Not as many
obstacles, I guess, as
exactly.
People have, yeah.
And and part of why it's humbling too is because you get that perspective, and then you realize that all these kids that have these disabilities are happier than you are,
right? Exactly.
And they're more grateful than you are, and it shifts your perspective to really be thankful. And I think that's just the whole holiday season for me is all about being thankful. It's all about perspective, and it's all about people being good to each other. Like, that's the core of why I love Christmas. Plus, Christmas cookies from Mama.
That's just an added bonus. That's just icing on the cake, or whatever metaphor you want to use. Uh-huh. Well, Matt, I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Oh wait, we gotta get one more.
Do it in.
There we go. Solid high five.
All right, man. I appreciate your time, man.
Awesome. Thank you.
Again, thank you to Matt Janz from the Apothecarium Las Vegas. Make sure you head over to that Facebook page and RSVP for any of the upcoming classes that they have going on. We're going to take one more break, and we will come back with our last interview with local comedian Trez Mala.
I don't mean to be evil, I don't mean to be cold, I just want to get straight to business, so let's go. Now let's have fun with this. I know you can't stomach it when I kill it, cause you know that I smother it. Raising the bar, but I ain't coming up under it. I'm jumping over it when I'm making another hit. We ain't mediocre, we're staying, we talking. Collecting hits in this game, we're poaching. You're poking the bear when you're dead to approach her. I'ma rip your arm apart from your shoulder. Show them that I don't really like to play around, cause I got bullied and hurt on the playground.
Alright guys, thanks again for listening to the first episode of the Bud Buddy Las Vegas podcast. Again, we have two Shooterz bringing us in back from commercial. You can find them at the number 2 Shooterz with a Z 702 on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. They got their own channel. You can see these videos entire and they're full. My last interview that we have today is with stand-up comedian Trez Mala. He's going to talk a little bit about himself, but mostly talk about a social media platform where you can earn cryptocurrency while you post your pictures, recipes, stories, whatever it is you usually share on social media. But this way you can actually earn a cryptocurrency. I'll let him explain all about that, and then at the end of the interview I will follow up with a short bit about a new cannabis-based cryptocurrency that is very interesting, and if you get in on it now, you're getting in pretty much on the ground floor. The thing doesn't launch until the end of this year, so here we are with Trez, a little bit of Trez on stage, and then right into the interview.
Like I said, I've been in Las Vegas for 25 years. I don't come down the strip unless there's like some reason to come down. This last New Year's I had some friends in town, and there's a lot of walking. I forgot. Did you guys fall for the old Vegas classic? Everybody does it. Oh yeah, it's right there. We can make it. Let's just walk. Fucking 9 hours later. You're standing in front of Caesar's Palace, you're like, I think the mirage is a mirage. It's not getting any closer. What happened to Harold? Fuck Harold! Fucking... Yeah, see, I've seen parties of like 30 get whittled down to 3, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's some dire need over there. And then when you go into Caesar's Palace, fuck that place. I'm sorry. It's a labyrinth. Everywhere you go, it's a dead end. Seriously, you're like, oh, that's a dead end, let's go this way. You're in a cul-de-sac. You're like, how the hell did we get here? Like, let's just back out the way we came in, fucking flea market. Like, okay, let's just get some hubcaps for the Dodge and maybe a churro and find the fucking way out of here. Because I don't know how this is going to happen. And then you go to ask security, too, and they're like, fuck you, dude. The only time security helps you out of a casino is when you go broke. Then they're like, we can see you're out of money. You want to follow us over here? What happened? What's going on? I think you might get you kicked out of places. I'm just saying. I think we're like one drink away from the wheelchair service over here. I'm just saying. It's like, this fucking get me out of here. I'm going gambling. I'm telling you, I'm saying that. Have you seen the wheelchair service? Have you seen that? The people that have too much Vegas? You should point you out there over here. Here's the deal. This is the wheelchair service. This is the wheelchair. If you get too drunk in your casino where you're staying, security, instead of sending you out to the drunk tank, what they do is they'll take you in a wheelchair all the way up to your room and drop you off. Right? They want to keep the money in-house. You know what I mean? They don't want to ship it out over here. And let me tell you, if it happens to you guys, because it happens, they're very professional, okay? Because the last time it happened to me, right? I woke up, I had all my money in my wallet, right? I remember the security guard taking me into my room, he put me in bed, tucked me in, took off my shoes, gave me a little foot rub like how Mom used to do, right? Now, I don't remember too much after that, but I do remember being kissed on the forehead and being told, "Good night, sweet prince." Yeah, I woke up the next morning, had a nice little bouquet of roses right there, 2 free tickets to the buffet. My wife was like, "What'd you do last night?" I was like, "I don't know, apparently I made out though." I'm like, "Let's go to the buffet so I can get this taste out of my mouth." Oh, is that where we draw the line, huh? Is that where we draw the line?
Okay, everybody, thank you for listening to the podcast. I have Trez Mala joining us. You probably heard Trez's stand-up right before his interview here, and that was, where was that recorded, Trez? I think that was at the Las Vegas Strip somewhere, right?
Yes, that was at Planet Hollywood at the Edwin San Juan show, Las Vegas Live.
Nice. How long have you been doing stand-up comedy as a career? Really, I mean, you do it as I know you do it as much as you can possibly. How long have you been doing it for?
For like professionally and paid, working for money, very loosely, I should say. But it's about 6 years, going on about 7 years now. I've never been a guy that kept track. It's funny how some people on like Facebook and stuff like that, other comics, they'll be like, "This is my anniversary," and I was like, I have no idea. You know what I mean? Like I never. I guess I could go back and look at notes, but I think around the 7-year mark. But definitely have done stand up a lot longer than that in comedy. I used to do improv comedy.
And then even now, you do comedy tours, right? Isn't that correct?
Yeah, I do. I do comedy tours out to Hoover Dam with Comedy on Deck tours, which has been a godsend for me because I don't have to scrounge around I should say it's not scrounge around, but I would have to try to drum up work and travel. I get to do comedy and I make good money. And stay in Vegas, and now I can kind of pick and choose a little bit.
And you get like a different crowd almost every day too, I would imagine. I mean, because you're dealing with tourists all day, every day.
Yeah, no, that's the thing is, and it's funny. It's kind of like a small mini version of having like my own strip show because I get people from all, they're here for Vegas. It's a brand new audience every day, and you get different feels, it's a different group. It's international. It's not just, one, the Hoover Dam's a big attraction. But I get people from literally all walks of life. And the thing is, I'm starting at telling jokes at like 7 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes I'll have like a bus full of, up to 50 people, or I'll have a bus of like 8 or 9, 10 people. And, I've done it all. And it's funny when I hear comics complain about a cold room or whatnot. I'm like, I don't want to hear it, dude. 'Cause
Right.
I'm over there cracking jokes first thing in the morning. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's why there isn't stand-up comedy shows at 7 a.m. in the morning. I don't think I've seen one of those yet,
Yeah, and I'm doing it,
Right.
But I like I said, I just my parameters is I have to work clean, and I have to incorporate information about Hoover Dam.
Right.
But it's a blast. It's a great gig, and it's made me definitely, because I get, it kind of put me in the fast track with being comfortable on stage and stuff like that, and really getting mic time in, because I'm doing it 6 hours at a time. Not obviously not straight. It's broken up, but you add it all together. I'm doing a solid 4 hours.
Right. Right.
And it's improvising because everything's new. But I equally like it as much as, being on stage. So it's good for me.
Sure, man. It's something you can do during the day, work on some chops, like you said, and then, you can bring that to the stage at night where, obviously a lot of these places at night, you can let loose a little bit more, you don't have to be so reserved, you don't have to work clean, and I'm sure, that those liberties are nice to have too. We wanted to talk about, or something you wanted to talk about that we talked about before we started recording this podcast was something called Steam It. And I'm not even going to try to, I have no idea. You please tell the listeners what Steam It is, because it's something that you feel strongly about.
Okay, so Steam It is a new social media platform that is based on, it's built on blockchain technology, which is akin to what a lot of these cryptocurrencies are doing right now. And the technology that makes it open source. And what they do is they pay, or they reward your content creation with their cryptocurrency, which then could be exchanged for your, US dollars, or it could be exchanged for any other currency in the world, or other cryptocurrencies, or even so much as through a different means of way, but you can get gold if you wanted. You know what I mean? You can. Possibilities are astronomical with this. But the thing is, it's like if you combined Facebook and Reddit together, and with no ads, everybody that signs up is you start a blog. And what you do is your participation into this, and it's all free. It's all free. Your participation into this by liking comments, commenting on comments. They call it a re-steam, or, if you're sharing it like you would on Facebook or whatever they call it on Reddit, that generates everything. All the activity is a form of mining their cryptocurrency. So the more people that are involved in this, it helps mine the cryptocurrency, and you earn this by just doing your posts. It's an amazing platform, because the technology and everything that they're using right now, what they're doing is the base for all these other different decentralized, that's the thing, it's decentralized mediums. So like blockchain technology is, instead of having everything done on one big main computer, it's done on everybody's computer. It's this big, it's really like the big web, so to speak. Everything's connected, kind of like how Napster was.
Okay.
Like a BitTorrent. Like they can't shut down torrent sites because it's millions of computers that are file sharing, right?
Right.
That's how the blockchain and the cryptocurrency world works. So the social media is based on like this, and there's people who are using this as their base. They're not getting rid of Facebook. They're not getting rid of their YouTube channels. But what they're doing is they're using this stuff, Steam It, to post everything originally, like as on their blog. And then then they have it through a different, like a third party that sends it out to their Twitter, their Facebook, their, whatever, what have you. And then it all funnels back. So you're bringing people back into, like, to see stuff on Steam It, and the more people that are involved, the easier it's going to get. But I mean, it's so in depth, but it's so easy on the surface. Just to use it, you can just sign up and you can start blogging. And if you catch the attention of somebody who has a good, like a big bank account or wallet on there, they like your post. There's some people, they have enough cryptocurrency, and this is crazy. One like from them can give you like $100 to $700 a post. It hasn't happened to me. You know what I mean? Like the most I've gotten on a post was like $1. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, as they say, a minnow on the deal. But as there's whales, as they call them, this is all like cryptocurrency talk. Like
Sure.
I'm learning this stuff. But somebody, it just be like somebody leaving you like a big tip. Like you had that one customer that just they liked you, and they're like, boo bam, here's $100, brighten your day, So, and then people build these followings, and the more people that like it, they build money for their posts.
And it's rewarding people for quality content.
Exactly. So, what's funny is like I tell everybody it's decentralized, so there's no censorship. And then some guy, when I was talking about this on Facebook, so then any racist could be, and I go, well, yeah, just like any racist could be like that on Facebook, I mean, or whatever,
Sure.
and other social media, and that, yeah, they would get shut down on this. How they would get shut down is it would just be shrouded in obscurity. You'd have to seek it out, because there are things where you can downvote. There is a little bit of a downside. They're trying to fix this so people don't abuse it. But if your content was to be downvoted, what it does is it just makes it doesn't get rid of it, doesn't censor it, but it just pushes it way to the back when you won't find it unless you specifically type in looking for that. But it won't be on the trending, like it pushes it out of the algorithm, if
Sure.
you will.
Right.
And there is some abuse. There is some abuse because there's some people that have kind of like a little coalition where they've gotten together on some people that they didn't like their content, and they did that too. So they're trying to find there's ways of they're developing ways to, like, prevent that from happening, because that's, censorship-free content is like one of the main things. So here's a little interesting note. They have their own YouTube, okay, and it's not like theirs. It's a decentralized YouTube, and it's called DTube. Well, DTube is just like Steam. They're growing faster right now than like Facebook and Twitter and stuff did in this stage of their existence. If that makes sense.
Yep.
They're growing faster in like memberships and stuff like that. They have their own. They have which is all tied into Steemit. Okay, hold on. This is gonna be a little muddled here, but I'm gonna pull it all together. So you have Steemit as like the base, and then there's a YouTube called DTube. Then there's an Instagram called Steepshot. Then there's a live streaming service, kind of like a Twitch or something like that. That's called DLive. Then they have a podcasting one. They have all these things, and it's all based off of Steam. So to sign up for any one of these different things, you sign up. Even if you sign up with DTube directly, everybody gets created a Steam account, which builds up the Steam platform. If that makes sense.
Yep.
Because when you post on, like, just say you're just doing the DTube, you're just doing their YouTube thing, you're posting on DTube. Well, every time you post on that, it's connected to Steam. It'll create a Steam post there, so you could be earning revenue on two separate platforms just posting on one.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Right. So a lot of people that are being censored on YouTube are moving over to DTube, and it's D.tube. I think that's the and it might be .io. I don't know the.
We'll look it up. We'll make sure that the listeners know it before by the end of when we go live with this. So.
But there's people who've just transferred their following over from YouTube over to them. Like people that support them, and they're making like hundreds and thousands of dollars. Hundreds to thousands per post on just DTube, and then they're making whatever off of that, or an equal amount. It's amazing. And like I said, there's a lot of people on there, and I don't know how they do it, but they make a living off of posting on Steemit.
Right.
So I know this is a little long-winded, but everything's based off of Steemit. All these different, the YouTubes and the DLives and all that stuff. They have their own thing called Steam Gigs, which is on the Steemit platform, but it's kind of like a Fiverr,
Yeah.
And what they're slowly doing is they're slowly integrating these different all the stuff that's there, but based on this platform where it's exchanged for cryptocurrency, which the exchange is immediate and there's no transaction fees. It takes 3 seconds for a transaction to happen, and there's no fees. So imagine if you have a business and you start accepting, you start doing on the Steam platform, you start accepting, you have people go and pay you and all stuff like that. You can technically, depending on what you do and how you move that money, how you move that currency and what you do with it, you could be earning a tax-free income. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
from a business standpoint, or for an individual. You don't have to pay. You wouldn't have to pay any banking fees. Exchanges, yeah, there, but that's one fee on top of usually how you get whacked with a lot. So what I'm saying is this is a great medium for any performer, anybody that likes to take pictures of their food,
cannabis, cannabis. That's actually kind of what I was trying to I needed you to, kind of work this into, is how can my listeners, that are obviously cannabis users, how can Steam It benefit them?
Oh, so this is what's great, dude, is people that have their blogs, people that have their, all their weed blogs, they have all this stuff, they can use Steam It as that base. And you can, like I said, if you have your own YouTube channel, you have all this stuff, instead of just worrying about making ad revenue, you can create real direct to you revenue. And you can use everything else. You can have it, but this is like one of those things, but it's decentralized. So you don't have to worry about like your content being flagged unless you're plagiarizing. I think that's like the biggest thing. So you can do these amazing contests, and they have a good community on there already. People who already see the big picture have been on there, and they're tinkering. No one's became like the Steam It weed guy yet. You know what I mean? No one's become like but it's there for our people to go and be censorship free. You know what I mean? And here's another thing, and I'm not advocating, because on this side of things, but I do. I'm somewhat of an advocate of open and free market and all that stuff like that. But if people wanted to get into means of exchanges for goods and services, whatever products and stuff like that, that might not be, you get flagged with using U.S. dollars or regular currency. This is a means of, cryptocurrency is a way for that.
Sure.
This can get you in contact with a lot of people globally. So for for cannabis users, or like people with that like to share their knowledge and information, from growing to cooking to all this, YouTube, you run that risk of they can pull the plug on you at any time. Not on this.
Oh yeah, Facebook. So, folks get shut down on Instagram daily. They'll have 30,000 followers, and one day, boom, Instagram decides that one of their posts, because somebody flagged it, and that happens, and they're losing a huge following,
Well, yeah, exactly. Let's look at this as this is a separate issue, but you have the exact same thing. You have the exact same thing with people that are promoting, weed and weed products and medical marijuana and all these different side things, right? And the same thing's happening. They build these amazing Facebook pages and these followings, and the Instagram and all this stuff, and then they come and yank it, and it's just like it's a total fuck job. And the whole time, those pages were creating revenue for them.
Exactly.
Were creating for the platform.
Yep.
Right, and they paid money into that. Like that's the thing is with DTube and all stuff. If you want to invest into your page, your thing, you can put your money into it, turn it into the Steam, right? And they have this thing called Steam Power. What you put it into the platform, and so it's like a boost for your posts or whatnot. You know what I mean? It's like you're for promoting.
Yeah.
But at any time, you can take that money out. There's a slow process though. You get it out in increments because they don't want anything to collapse their system. So they have measures in place to prevent that, but you can get your money back. Where is it if anybody spent any money in Facebook where you can get that money back? You're like, you know what? It's not an investment. You're paying for shit. Well, in Steam It and DTube, and shit like that, you can pull that money out. So anybody that would like to do a blog, right? Like to do a weed blog and stuff, but they're like, oh man, I got to start from scratch and I got to do this. They can invest some money into their own, treat it like a business. They can invest money into their own business as far as their blogging and their content creation. Put it into Steam it. Their posts because you have what's called more Steam power, puts your posts ahead of everybody else, right? And so it gets noticed and stuff like that. And usually when people see those in those top spots, they like it, they read it, you know what I mean? Like, so they don't have to worry about investing into themselves. Whereas if you did stuff like that with Facebook, you know what I mean? Like, you lose, especially if they take it from you. They can't take it from you.
Right.
You know what I mean on this. And here's the other thing. We have a mutual friend, a buddy, Tino, another comedian in Las Vegas, who has Peace, Love, and Pipples. And he has, like, his Facebook page has like 300,000 followers. He has a couple of videos that have like a million plus views.
I know it's huge. I know, totally.
Yeah. So here's the thing is, because of he's not boosting or pushing that page, he goes, dude, out of like 300,000 people, when I do a post, like 1,000 people see it. You know what I mean? Like, they don't see the post because they want me to invest. But he's like, every time I do anything, they make money. I said, dude, you need to switch those people over to Steam it. You know what I mean? It's amazing. And like I said, I can talk forever about it because I believe it's going to change social media. It's going to change the way, because people are realizing that the censorship and the frothing, the hate over there on other social media is because it goes unchecked. Right? It goes unchecked. Here's the thing. We're talking about they reward you for quality content. They do. And here's the thing is, you can go on there and be as cunty as you want to be, but you probably won't make anything and people won't see your posts. So then people are a little bit more considerate. People are a little bit more articulate. You know, people are a little bit less quick to jump to things and post on there, because you can edit it. But once it's on there for like a certain amount of time, it's on there.
Right. It's archived and it's there. Yeah.
Yeah, and it can be found at any time. You know what I mean? And even if you erased it, whatever you erased that was on the surface, you can go into the open source, into the back, and you can find it. And it's all logged. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why that's why I'm big on the cryptocurrencies and the blockchain technology, because ultimately, I mean, if you look at it, we can do away with central banking and banks. Not only that, we can do with direct democracy and get rid of these shitty fucking politicians and vote directly on issues and know for a fact that there's no fraud, there's no
interference, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, there's no election rigging and shit like that.
Right.
That's a bright sunny day for me, dude.
Sure, absolutely, and more people should feel that way.
Yeah. I have slowly become, I always thought when I was younger, I was kind of I was a little bit more Republican minded, but I was an independent because I believed in, freedoms and stuff like that. Then I'm like, I'm more of a libertarian. Now, as I'm looking at life, and especially having been arrested for growing weed, I'm a complete anarchist, dude. You know what I mean? Like, governments for shit, central banking shit, police state shit, this world that we're brought up to live in is a complete fucking fallacy and contradicts itself. And,
hey, tell me where people can find you on Steemit. I mean, do you have a username? How do people find Trez Mala on Steemit?
Yeah, so steemit.com. That's STEEMIT.com /@Trez Mala, TREZMALA. Go there, sign up, follow me. And then every other social media I'm on, I've rarely ever used Snapchat, so I don't even bark that out. And I have everything auto posted to Twitter, but @Trez Mala on all, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and then Facebook. You can find me at Trevor Trez Mala. That's my main. I have a comedy page, or I have a page, but I'm more active on my personal. But TreverTrezMala on Facebook. But Steam It's where I'm going, guys.
Yes, Steam It. Yeah, Steam It's the one. That's what it sounds like.
Steam It's where I'm going because I've been dicking around. Oh, they have this other thing too, real quick. It's called D Mania, and it's for just memes. Just memes. People are posting memes or creating memes, and people are making like a living wage posting memes and creating memes on there via the cryptocurrency. Like people are making like hundreds of bucks a post and shit like that, $50 a post for just posting memes. I've gotten the most, I think, 2 cents.
Hey, that's more than I'm going to have to figure this out because we've talked about this for a while. I mean, I know that you've been doing this for a while, and it's something that you've been, man, you need to do this, and I think finally after our conversation today, I will be doing it, and I think it's something that, is going to be actually great for this podcast and, anything that I'm doing with Bud Buddy moving forward, because there's just no, it's impossible for me to advertise on Instagram. It's impossible for me to advertise on Facebook due to the content that I share to my followers and listeners, and users. So, Steam It is the platform that I'm going to start using, thanks to Mr. Trez Mala.
Yeah, yeah, dude. It's and I'm just a user. I put in zero money. I own a couple of Steam. I'm new to the whole cryptocurrency thing, and this is a good way for people to learn about a lot of that.
Absolutely.
If you're not familiar with like Bitcoin and all that stuff, this is a great way. This is a great way to learn about that because it's based off of it, and you don't have to worry. You don't even have to worry about any of that shit either. You can just start and work it just like you would. There's you hashtag stuff. You find things to go on, or you go around. And here's the thing, dude. I actually I made $2 on a comment one time. I was on a boxing page. My biggest things I search on there. I go through political stuff, cryptocurrency stuff, weed, and boxing, and then food. I like looking at I'm still a foodie, so I like looking at stuff like that. But I left a comment on a thing and people liked it enough, and my comment made more money than the post. I got like $2. You know what I mean? So it's just weird. Like, but you can make money just going through and leaving comments on stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. No, it's something that I think a lot of people are missing out on, and our listeners can thank Trez Mala for turning everybody on to Steam It. So when these people become cryptocurrency billionaires, make sure you break Trez off a little bit because, if it wasn't for him, shit, you'd be still sitting in your mom's basement listening to this podcast.
Yeah, dude. I'm an advocate because I see the potential, and I'm a censorship free guy.
Absolutely.
Why do these big platforms, they get to censor people, but they make money off of us? They're making money off of our content.
Right. Right.
That's the thing, is they're making money off our content, dude. And that it's open source, dude. So it's great. If there's a problem, someone will go in there and they can write the code. And people do it all the time. It's always changing, getting for the better. And if the code is like accepted by everybody, like, hey, this is a benefit for the thing, it accepts it. If not, it rejects it. It doesn't go in. So it's crazy how they have all these developers, they pay these, all these money for whatever. These guys will just go in there and be like, hey, I'm doing this. If you can donate some money to support this, or donate some Steam to support this, I greatly appreciate it. They'll make a post.
Right.
People hit like, and it draws up money and stuff, or people, you can donate money, or you can give money direct, you can transfer money direct, or Steam direct to them. And then they get compensated for for enhancing the platform. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a great thing.
Well, all right, man. I appreciate I appreciate you taking the time to do this interview with us. We went over a lot of stuff. This Steam It's great. I'm gonna post up everything. When we post this live, when people have links, we'll go over everything. I'll make sure everybody's got links to your social medias to make sure that you're being followed. And let's do this again sometime soon.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, thanks. 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 All right, thanks.